So, Namaskaram and a very, very warm welcome to today's special session, 100 Days Strategy or 100 Days Masterclass, where you're going to understand what you need to do for the entire 100 days. So, I appreciate you joining us today because this indicates your dedication once again. These sessions are very deep. We discuss things in a very detailed manner, so it is not easy for people to absorb it. So, when you're joining us live, when you're joining us as a part of the session, it indicates that you're very, very serious. So we appreciate that. And this exactly is the reason why we are meeting today. 100 days in 100 minutes. It's the exam clearing masterclass, where we go in complete details in terms of what needs to be done in this 100 days. Okay. So we are starting around 7 o'clock and we're expecting to complete around somewhere around 8:40. That's the target. Perfect. Next. So this is the breakout of the session. Okay. So first we'll start with the bird's eye view of the 100-day strategy. What is the preparation kit? 3 phases of preparation with milestones. Detailed schedule for both groups and single group. I'll show some samples. Super Secret 1, Super Secret 2, Super Secret 3, and massive action plan for full-time students and minimum viable preparation for working professionals. So no matter where you are, every one of you have something to learn from this. And at the end of the session, I'll answer each and every query. Okay. So this is why we are meeting today, and I want you to pay complete attention. Let me get started with the first thing. So since you are joining us today, and we always offer joining bonuses, so we'll also, apart from you being a part of this Zoom session, we'll also give you a VIP access pass. Your registration details are there with us, like when you're registered. So, okay, I'll do something so that you'll get it for sure. You can drop a message to VIP access pass. Okay. Generally, you will drop a joining bonus, right? This time I'm giving you VIP access pass. So to this mail ID so that you'll definitely get it. Even otherwise, we'll try to send it from my RN. So this is the mail ID to which you have to send that mail. This is the subject, VIP access pass, July 22. That's it. Okay, we'll get it. And the finisher reward, as always, we'll announce at the end of the workshop. Now, context setting. So please pay attention and stay till that. So normally it's 90 minutes. This time it's 100 minutes. Slightly, if you want to use the Q&A, it will go quite slightly longer. And take notes. And before you leave, we want to ensure that you're sharing your top 3 takeaways. I want everyone to share your top 3 takeaways. All your individual queries will be answered at the end. So please do not disturb the flow of the session. We'll answer each and every question, whatever it is, we'll answer it. Okay. Next, our vision is to transform 10,000 plus semi-qualified CAs, the newly qualified CAs, and I hope you also want to become a part of this. That's the reason why both of us are meeting here, and we are inching close to the target with each and every attempt. And this is linked to your 3-stage career path, which will help you to clear CA in 1 attempt or 1 year, start earning 1 lakh per month, and create a path to a net worth of 10 crore. This is the 3-stage career path which we aspire for all of the students. And these are the first set of segments. We normally divide these 100 minutes into 2 segments. Segment 1, 15 minutes. Because if you remember, everything we do will be in the focus block slot of 15 minutes. Okay. First, we'll do this topics. Number 1 is bird's eye view of the 100-day strategy. And then we'll start with the preparation kit. Okay. So if you are ready for this, please type ready so that I can proceed forward. Once you have dropped the email, then we can go forward. So if you're ready for this, please type ready so that I can proceed forward. I want all of you to keep responding. Everyone here, if you're ready, please type ready in the chat box. Wonderful, guys. Thank you for the responses. Thank you very much. Let's get started. So the bird's eye view of the 100-day strategy. Now, what exactly would I mean by bird's eye view? Bird's eye view gives you an overview at a glance. Okay, it's like a building demo model. Before the whole building is constructed, when you go to big constructions before it is done, they'll show you the whole model, right, in a format. So it's something like that. I have made it very, very simple. I have made it very, very easy for you to visualize what has to be done. So this is the first thing which you are looking into. Now, in the 100 days, what should ideally happen? Let's start from the end. Okay, for you to be ready for exam presentation. The previous 30 days should be compulsorily invested in cumulative revision. a minimum of 30 days should be invested in cumulative revision. And when I say cumulative revision, this does not include syllabus completion. Revision has to be done every day. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about 100% revision. What is cumulative revision here? We're talking about 100% exclusive revision, 100% exclusive revision. Okay, for a minimum period of 30 days, whether you're writing one group or both groups, this is absolutely essential. 100% revision, 100% pure revision. I would say 100% pure revision, because we also do 5-time revision on a daily basis and a weekly basis. We also enable 5-time revision. That is different. Here, we're doing it along with syllabus completion. Here, we are not focusing on syllabus completion. Rather, we are quickly and only focusing on cumulative revision. Okay. So if you understood the importance of it, cumulative revision, please type 100% pure revision, 100% pure revision, 100% pure revision. I want you to understand the importance of it. You're not mixing studying new subjects here. You're not mixing anything. 100% pure revision. Please type that. So this is the most important concept. We have to clear 100% pure revision for at least 30 days is something which has to happen for sure. Okay, 100% pure revision. Perfect, good. Next, we're talking about the remaining 60 days. Okay, the remaining 60 days. Now, why are we looking at 60 days? So, in terms of completing syllabus, whether you're writing group 1 or group 2, see, the eligibility is different. Please don't look at group 1 and group 2 as a choice, or group 1 and both groups as a choice. Group 1 versus group 2 is a choice. But when you're talking about both groups, there is some level of eligibility which is required. It is not an automatic thing. It is definitely possible for everyone, but we'll look into details. But whether you're writing group 1 or group 2 or both groups, we are looking at around 60%, 60 days of syllabus completion. 60 days of syllabus completion. If the major objective is syllabus completion, but it includes 20% revision and 10% exam practice. 20% revision and 10% exam practice. If you understand this, please type 70:20:10. In syllabus completion, 70% syllabus completion, 20% revision, and 10% exam practice. Please type 70:20:10. This has to be there in your mind. This has to be stored in your mind, not on the PPT. This has to be stored. That is the reason why I'm asking you to write it. 70:20:10. Okay. 70 is to earlier you wrote 100% cumulative pure revision, 100% revision. It includes writing practice. That's a different part. Now we're talking about syllabus completion. We're talking about 70:20:10. Okay. This is the ratio. Now, the first 10 days. The first 10 days, whenever you're getting started, the advantage, let's say you're getting started today. The advantage, if you're getting started today, you can use this time to reset your mindset and start routine building. Like whenever you start, 10 days from then, it will take at least 1 week to 10 days for you to enhance your mindset and build a strong routine. Okay. So we are investing this. Even in this time, we are going to study. It's not like you have to do something different. You're studying, but the focus is more on the mindset building. Okay. So when I say mindset, 50 minutes of concentration. When I say mindset, 50 minutes of concentration. Please type 50 minutes of concentration. This is what I mean by mindset. 50 minutes of concentration. When you're starting your preparation, when you're starting your studies, you should not stop. You should not get deviated. You should not even get a single thought until the first 50 minutes. Because when you're starting something, at least you should go and study for the next 50 minutes. 50 minutes of concentration is what mindset is all about. 50 minutes of concentration. Okay. Now, when you're talking about routine, like mindset, we're talking about 15 minutes of concentration, right? When you're talking about routine, 50 minutes into 8 times. 50 minutes into 8 times is routine. A good day is like 50 minutes into 8 times. It can go to 10 times, it can go to 12 times, but the minimum is 8 times for full-time students, 4 times for working professionals. Okay. So if you understand what is routine, only when you can replicate this 50 minutes into 8 times, 50 minutes into 8 times is a strong routine. If you're working professional, you can make it 50 into 4. Because working professional, we're talking about one group. Working professional, we're talking about one group unless you already crossed 360. Okay, 50 minutes into 8 times. Okay. So this is exactly a quick overview. I'll explain the details, but this is a very, very quick overview so that you'll get a context of how you have to divide the entire 100 days. I believe it is clear for you. Okay, if this slide is clear, if this bird's eye view is clear, please type clear. We'll proceed forward. This is clear for you, please type clear. I'll explain further steps. Okay, thank you. So in terms of both groups, now let's look at the details. In terms of both the groups, if you're deciding to write both the groups, this is what has to happen. results are released somewhere in the first and second week, right? So you're in week 3. What should happen is ideally you should start in week 3, somewhere here. Like, it's okay even if you haven't started, but today is something which you should definitely discuss and we should definitely decide to kickstart. Okay, so we're talking about week 3 here. So once you start on week 3, the week 3, week 4 is the transition time. As I said, the initial 10 days of mindset and routine building. So this is where you are. Now coming to August, if you're writing both groups in the month of August, you should be able to cross 40 plus in 4 papers. You should be able to cross 40 plus in 4 papers. It could be your group 1 or group 2. We call it a primary group. But you should be able to cross 40 plus in 4 papers in the month of August. How many of you understood it? How many of you understood this? If you're writing both the groups, that's totally fine. In any one group at least. First, you have to start with any one group. You have to cross 40 plus. You should reach a position where you should be able to cross 40 plus. I'm not asking about vague things. Preparation is good, bad, ugly. We are not interested in that. Your ability to cross 40 plus should happen by August. Only when this happens. If and only if this happens, you're eligible to think about the other group. Because if you remember, the entire month of October, we are using only for the entire month of October. We are only using for revision, right? So entire month of October, you cannot complete syllabus. So in the month of September, you have to complete the remaining 4 papers. Okay. So it's like 1 week is what you have for a paper. But some papers, if you got an exemption, if you're already good at it, you can donate that time to some other paper. But roughly, this is what has to happen. If this is clear, please type clear. So technically, the target is to cross 40 plus in all 8 papers by September 30. October, we are doing massive revision. I'll show you breakup also as we proceed forward. But in the month of October, I'm showing you massive revision, right? So this is going to happen. And then because of this, if you do this, the target in November is 420 plus. The target in November is 420 plus. If you think this is a simple and effective strategy, if you think this is a simple plus effective strategy, please type simple plus effective. If you look at it without any confusion, very clear, let's finish one group first, then let's move on to the other group, then revise both the groups, and then cross 420 plus. We are not over ambitious. We are not setting up unrealistic, over motivated targets. Very realistic, practical, simple, and effective. 40 plus is something which you can score. Most of you already crossed 35 plus or 25 plus, so it's easy to score 40 plus. This is where we are. Okay. So if it's simple and effective, okay, perfect. Now I'll show you if this works. Okay, I'll show you the next question which comes to you is, would this actually work? This is the mark sheet. If you follow this, this is a mark sheet. This is the outcome of this strategy. It is the most recent result. I can even share the complete testimonial and everything. But right now, I wanted to focus on what will happen if you do this. So I said 420 plus. I'm not giving you 400 plus. I'm not giving you 600 plus. I'm not giving you all India 7th rank. If you're interested, that can happen, but that takes a different set of effort altogether. So this is something which is practical, and this is something which you can minimum score. Because Bhavika, in a previous attempt, she failed in one group. She was not even confident of writing that one group also. But then, by following this simple and effective strategy, she was able to get this mark sheet. Now, how many of you would be happy to get a mark sheet like this? See, somebody could have scored more, somebody would have scored 623. I'm not denying it. But how many of you here would be really happy to get this? If you're happy to get this, please type. If this can make you happy, please type. That's it, right? Most of you won't happy to see pass. Okay, that is exactly what we're talking about. We are very, very realistic once again. Okay. Yes. Now let's say if you have only one group to write. Let's say if you have only one group to write. How many of you here have only one group to clear CA? If you have only one group, please type which group is it? Group 1. Okay, which group is this? Group 1 to clear CA or group 2 to clear CA? I can mention that. If you have only one group to clear CA, please mention that. So all those people who have only one group. Okay, let me look at it. Let me look. Get this. Rajan, Bhumik, Arya, Parth, Aditya, Venkatesh, Harish, Rajesh, Jitendra, all of you have one group, right? I'll tell you super effective thing. I'll tell you super effective strategy for this. Now you can start your same. You get started, let's say starting today. The first 10 days, you'll be able to build the mindset and you'll be able to build the routine. I'll also tell you how we'll build it. I'll also show you everything. Like there will be zero ambiguity by the time you leave. Okay. Next, in the month of August, we only have to cross 30 plus in 4 papers. Now, earlier it was 40 plus. Here it is only 30 plus in 4 papers. Can this be done? Can this be done? Can this be done? If this can be done, please type 30 plus in August. Simple. Whatever the problem is, all 4 papers, you can cross 120, right? You can cross 120 plus by the end of August 31st. This can be done, right? No question of this. Now, once this is done, I'm not talking about 45 right away. After crossing 30, can this be done in September? Once you cross 30 plus in August, can you not cross 45 plus in September? If you think you can cross 45 plus in September, please type 45 plus in September. Wonderful. Now, if you do these things, if you do these 2 things, your exam is almost done. So 55 plus is the target. Even if you end up scoring 52, 53, or a couple of papers 55, a couple of papers less than that, it's still fine. So we're looking at hitting 230 in 4 papers. Okay. If you do this, we're looking at hitting 230 in 4 papers. And the outcome of this is something like this. So the outcome of this is this. Simple, same strategy. We have adapted the same strategy. Now, all those single group people, how many of you would be happy to get this? So both groups are happy to get that 423, right? How many of you would be happy to get this? How many of you would be happy to get this score? Right? That's it. So this can happen if you follow this. If we follow this, this can happen. Okay. So if it is clear for you until now, if it is clear for you, please type clear. If this is clear for you, the overview. I just spoke about overview. I did not go into the details. I just spoke about the overview. Perfect. Now let's quickly move into the preparation kit. Okay, what exactly do we need for the preparation kit? What exactly are the resources, or what exactly do we need for the preparation kit? There are 3 things which you need. Number 1, your time, your energy, your attention. Your time, when I say time, you have to put in the maximum amount of time. You have to put in the maximum amount of time. So whatever time you have in your life, whatever time you have in your day, you should be able to invest into this. You should definitely be able to invest into this time. Energy is always limited. Let's say you're using it for something else, whether it is a physical energy or mental energy. If you're using the energy for something else, it will get diluted, it will get distributed, especially for working professionals, especially for homemakers, especially for students who are wasting time on mobiles, who are wasting time doing something else. You're wasting your energy plus attention also. How many of you realize that mobile usage is affecting your attention or concentration? How many of you realize this? Mobile, even full-time students also. How many of you realize this? Mobile usage is affecting your concentration and attention. So that is the reason why you cannot take this for granted. You cannot, I'm not even going to 2 and 3. People would ask, which is the book which you should do, which is the coaching which I start, which is the mentorship which I should think about, or what are the other things which I should do. But the whole part is, first, these are the things, boss. First, unless you have this, nobody can help you. Even we cannot help you. I'm telling you, if you're not bringing in, if you're not investing your time, if you're not investing in energy, if you're not bringing your attention into the preparation, Nobody can help you. Nobody can help you. Unless this happens, these are not relevant. Everybody has coaching classes. Everybody went to coaching. Everybody has books. Everybody has all of this, right? These are not something which you don't have. You keep thinking that I should have read that book. But the point is, if you read properly, any book you can clear. There is no good or bad book. You can clear by using any book. The problem is, this is not the problem. Learning sources are not the problem. Your usage of internal resources is the problem. The way you utilize your internal resources are the problem. How many of you agree to this? Before I proceed forward, how many of you agree that internal resources are important than learning sources? If you agree to this, please type agree. Now, I'm telling you very, very deep. I'm driving a very, very deep point. If you are not able to use your internal resources, your learning sources cannot help. I'm telling you once again, if you are not able to use your internal resources, see, nobody is asking for the reasons, nobody is caring about the intention. But if you realize that you are not able to use your internal resources properly, if you're not able to use your internal resources properly, you cannot effectively use the learning sources. No matter how good the faculty is, no matter how good the book is, you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. This won't translate into the pass marks. If you could correlate to this, if you could correlate to the previous attempt, where you bought good coaching, where you went through the best of the notes, where you did everything, where the nothing wrong on the faculty part. He explained everything. The coaching wala did whatever they could. You tried everything, but you know that you are not able to use the time properly. Your energy is getting wasted. Your attention is getting diluted. So because of this, these resources got wasted. Probably you would have invested in coaching. You would have bought everything, right? You would have invested probably 70,000, 80,000, even more for all the coaching classes together, revision, any amount you would have invested for learning sources, and you have put in a lot of time. But because of not being able to use this got wasted. Now, if this is relatable to you, if this is you, please type me. If this is you, who lost or who failed because of this? If you are somebody who have failed because of internal resources, not learning sources. If you have failed because of internal resources, please type me. Please type me. Now, all those people, all the students here, please realize this is very important. If this is not fixed, no matter how much you increase the quality, how many times you repeat the coaching, how many reference books you study, this is not going to help unless you fix this. Now, I'm telling you, if this is fine, if you're automatically able to use time, energy, attention, this is fine. If you're automatically able to use time, energy, attention, you can easily clear using the learning sources. 1 and 2 are good enough to clear. 1 and 2 are good enough to clear, provided 1 is fair enough, provided the foundation is strong. If 1 is not so effective, if you're having trouble in 1, you would definitely need 3. You would definitely need 3. What is 3? 3 is a step. The external environment is a factor which will fix the gaps in internal resources. For example, if you're not able to get enough oxygen, they'll give you a ventilator, right? External medication, external aid. If you're not able to get enough vitamins, they'll give you vitamin D or vitamin B12, right? So whatever is a deficit internally, these are like your vitamins. For example, these are your vitamins. These are like medicines. This is food. This is regular food. So no matter which food you use, the vitamin deficiency cannot be fixed so fast. You have to take external supplements or external medicine. So I'm just giving an analysis so that you can clearly visualize it, right? So if your internal resources are weak, your internal resources are affected, you would definitely need an external environment. Now, what do I mean by an external environment? It has 3 components. Number 1, study session. What is a study session? You should have a definite place of study where you can study for the next 100 days or 1,000 hours. A definite and clear. Let's say if you see almost 100% of my sessions, 100% of my sessions are here. This is a place where I use it only for my sessions. No matter what happened, I'll occupy this because this gets me into the zone. It gives me that energy. Normally, I'm not this much intensive or this serious all the time. I don't know what happens when I come here, irrespective of the energy I have, irrespective of the problems I have outside the space. I get different type of energy. I get a different sense of commitment. I get a different sense of conviction, confidence. I hope most of you would have seen me in multiple positions, right? So this is the place. So once I get here, it automatically switches me into a mentor mode. It automatically switches me into a workshop mode, in a trainer mode, right? So you should have a workstation. You should have a workstation for your studies, which we are calling it a study station. Study station, a clear-cut study station where you have to sit and study every single day at the same place. It could be at your home, it could be at your library, but you need to have something static. You need to have something static where everything in your study station is linked to studies, nothing else. So don't even take your phone to a study station. Don't talk to anyone while you're sitting there. Don't take phone. Don't take mobile. Don't do anything else. Study station is only for studies. Nothing else. Nothing else. Not even conversation. Don't allow anyone. It's like a temple. It's like a temple. This is where your career is getting built. It is very auspicious. It's a religious place. Temple in the sense anything. Depending on your faith, it could be anything. But the whole point is this is very auspicious. It is very sacred, right? So if you understood the importance of it, if you understood the importance of it, please type study station. Please type study station so that you go back and start building it, or you can fix it. Okay, first requirement is study station, especially when your internal resources are not proper. Now, if your internal resources are fine, if your internal resources are clear and candid, you would not need it because you can study sitting anywhere. Please understand, I'm not here to create a rule book. I'm only telling you, if you're not able to do it, you need some, you don't need a ventilator, you don't need an inhaler if you're able to breathe properly, right? Only when you're not able to breathe properly, you have to have some support system. So study station becomes a support system. So for all those people, this is number one. Next is study buddy. Now, this is what we use. Like this is a term which we use internally, but we also understand outside students may not be able to get it. Some of the students who are already a part of what we are doing, they get what study buddy is. But the rest of you, I'm telling you, a friend exclusively meant for studies. No nonsense, no bullshit, nothing else. No emotional exchange of unnecessary and useless things. Only meant for studies. Is a professional study partner. Now, what do you mean by professional study partner? So we are only talking about someone who are focused only on studies and nothing else. So you should have one peer, you should have one friend at your level. Let's say you're preparing group 1, somebody preparing group 1, or somebody preparing group 2, or at somebody in the final level, at least, right? When you have that, he is also going through the same journey. He or she is also facing the same issues, right? Following someone on YouTube is fine, that's okay. But you need a real person here. You need a real person. You need a real partner. So this is extremely helpful. In school and college, unknowingly you had someone, although it's not planned for it, unknowingly you had someone here, put that conscious effort. I understand some of you might be staying around, whatever it is, but when you have to hit a target, let's say there is a war, right? If there is a war, all the people get mobilized. Nobody is ready already, right? They get mobilized to attack the enemy. Now, when you have to attack this portion, if you're not able to do it alone, you need somebody's company. You'll contribute to the other person, they'll also contribute to you, right? So you need at least one person who is also preparing with you for the same attempt so that the intensity is high. So this is very, very valuable. Again, we don't want any useless interactions. We don't want emotional sympathy transferring to each other. Don't get into that. Professional study partner. Okay. So I'm talking about a professional study partner. So again, what will he do? Let's say you are getting deviated, you are getting distracted, you are wasting time. So study buddy will help you that this is what is happening. Probably let's focus. So he is somebody who keeps pushing you, who keeps pulling you back to the studies. This is the second important component. So if you understood it, if you understood the concept of study buddy, please type study buddy if you understood the concept of study buddy. If you understood the need, if you understood the importance, if you understood the concept, please type study buddy. Wonderful. So study buddy is for company, is for pushing you through some difficult parts, and most importantly, keeping you on your toes and make the journey reasonably interesting. Now, apart from this, you need somebody higher up. Study buddy is your peer. When I say study mentor, it could be a faculty, it could be a parent. For example, if you have somebody in the family who's a chartered accountant, it could be anyone. It could be anyone who has already done it. Now, I'll tell you the concept of mentor. Mentor is someone who has already done this, and who can help you do it. Who has already done it and who can help you to do this. Simple definition. Who has done it and who can help you do it. Done it and who can help you do it. Only one condition is useless. Who has not done it, who can help you do it? I doubt it. It's not very easy. Or who has done it and who cannot help you do it? Again, useless. So who has done it and who can help you do it? So anyone is fine. Again, it's not about mentorship is not a profession as if I have to be straightforward. It's not a profession. You just need to find that person. It's more of a personality trait. It's more of a passionate thing for certain people. To find anyone, it will be easy for three things. One is decision making. One is problem solving. One is skill building. Mentor will help you in three aspects. What are the decisions you have to take? Whether you should start preparing for group 1 or group 2 or both groups. And if you have a particular problem, you are not able to come out of your failure. You should have someone who can solve the problems for you on a timely basis. And most importantly, you should be able to help you with the required skills. Let's say you are getting stuck at 160, which means that you're not able to move beyond that. So you need to build a new skill. What is that skill? Speed reading. What is that skill? Better revision. What is that skill? Better exam presentation. So all of this are required, right? Problem solving plus decision making plus skill building. These are the three things which you would need. So if you understood this also, if you understood the need for this also, please type problem solving PS plus DS plus skill building. Problem solving, let me make it simple for you, decision making plus skill building. These are three things. Problem solving, decision making, skill building. Problem solving, decision making, skill building. So you need someone. Now, if you have this, you think about it. Not that I'm saying it. Now, if you think about it, let's say if you can start using your time, energy, and attention. And let's say you have this reference books, Q&A, like in learning sources, there are only three things. Either reference book or video. It could be a coaching class or a good book, any one is fine. And Q&A. So you should have one book which it's a testing material. This is a learning material. This is a reference material. This is a testing material. This is a summary notes. Like from learning and testing, you have to start taking summary. It's a summarized edition. It could be only 1% or 10% of the total content. So these are the three things which you would need. And these are the additional aspects which we have discussed. Okay. If you are clear until this point, please type clear. If you are clear until this point, please type clear. Now that you are clear, if these three things, if internal resources and learning sources and external environment is provided to you, how many of you think you can clear in November 23? If you understood the concept clearly, and if these three things are provided to you, are this good enough for you? No matter what the problem is, are this good enough for you? If you can clear, please type I can. Okay, so remember this: internal resources, learning sources, external environment. Okay, so let's proceed forward with the next, if this is clear. Now let's look at the three phases of preparation. We looked into internal resources, learning sources, and external environment. Now let's look at the three phases of preparation with milestones. Okay, so these are the three phases of preparation. I would say this is the most important 10 minutes of the entire session. It might slightly take more, but this is super important. This is very, very important. If I want you to pay attention, I'll explain you this. I'll explain you what exactly is this concept all about. Please let me know if the screen is visible. I'm using a annotation here. You should be able to see a drawing pen. Yeah, is it visible? Now let's start with planning. Okay, what exactly are the three phases? What exactly are the three phases which are required to complete your 100-day journey? Now, first phase is called planning. When I talk about planning, Planning should always be customized. Planning should always be customized. Why? If you have to wear the, let's say you have to go through a long journey. Now you need some shoes. If you want to find the right shoe, well, is the brand important or the fit important? Is the brand important or the size important? When you talk about shoe, what is the most important aspect? What is the most important aspect when it comes to your footwear? Size or brand? Size or brand? Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Now, if I have to help you understand what is size, it is your situation is your size. Size is your situation. What is brand? It's called rank motivation. I'm not saying you should not think about rank, but it is important. If somebody has got 130 in this attempt, now when you want a rank, you're talking about increasing your score 4 to 5 times in 5 months. We always get this. We call it overcorrection. When somebody fails, the next thing they think about is rank. Now, if you want to enhance your score from point A to point B, it should be realistic. Anything can be possible, but it has to be realistic. So you should not get carried away by the brand. Somebody got a rank, somebody got X amount of scores, some faculty spoke about it. Don't get carried away by rank because first you need to cover the basics. First, you need to cross 400. That 500 comes after 400, 550 comes after 500. There is no flyover. There is no direct mechanism which will take you from 200 to 500, right? You have to cross 400. So first of all, you need to understand, let's say if the customization is not required, why don't you download the timetable of AR1 or AR2? Like you always keep getting a lot of rankers, right? So why don't you download the timetable of AR1, AR2 and start using it? Because they got a rank with the timetable. And why are you not able to use it? Now, why are you not doing it? Tell me, like you have rankers will share the strategies, schedules, and everything, right? Everything is available. If they can score 600 with that timetable, why can't you score 450? Why can't you score 450? Now, what is the reason? I want all of you to mention, I want all of you to type in. Why are you not able to use a ranked schedule? Why are you not able to use it? Or you might have tried it. I want all of you to share your experience regarding this. Why are you not able to use this? Think and type. I want all of you to type. I want all of you to engage. Yes, different person, different strategy. What else? The timetable is not fixed for you. What else? Implementation issue consistently. Yes. We have to be mindful of your potential proper execution. Yes. They have their own timetable, stamina. There are different things. The whole point is the different things. It's good to understand. It's good to understand a particular pattern. Okay, you can understand the preparation pattern, but you cannot replicate the timetable. It's okay to find the brand. Okay, if some celebrity is using a brand, some brand you're liking it, use it, but don't blindly use the same size. Don't blindly wear the same size. It's okay to follow the brand. Don't blindly wear the same size. But it's okay to understand the overall strategy, but don't blindly follow the same timetable. Is this clear? Is this part clear? This is very important. This is very, very important. Don't start chasing random and useless plans. They won't work for you. It has to be customized. It is like your schedule is like a prescription. A schedule is like a prescription. It should be given by a doctor based on your understanding, based on the understanding of your problem, based on your blood report, not somebody's problem got resolved. Now you cannot go and blindly follow it, right? It's risky, dangerous, and most importantly, it might make things worse. Okay, so this is about the planning part. Now, in terms of planning, I'll quickly give you certain aspects. Number one, you need to have a strategy. What are the inclusions in planning? You need to have a schedule, which is customized. Strategy and schedule should be customized. And you need to have a clear-cut plan for utilizing your time attention, energy. So time, energy, attention. So you need to have a clear-cut understanding of how much time do you have, how are you going to invest it, where is your attention going, where are you using your energy at various sources. So everything has to be neatly and cleanly planned. And most importantly, planning includes all the decisions. We'll go deeper into decisions. So planning includes taking all the decisions, which includes single and both groups, which includes which subject to start first, which chapter to start with, everything. Everything forms a part of planning. Planning should not be perpetual. Planning should not be perpetual. I'll write it for you. Planning should not be, because a lot of students keep on planning forever. It should not be perpetual. It should be done. Don't do perpetual planning. So even 10 days before the exam, if you're thinking should I write one group or both groups, even 1 month before the exam, if your resources are not freezed, you still don't know what to do, you still don't know whether you should write a test series or not. All of this is dangerous and disastrous. Okay, planning should not be perpetual. If you understand the concept of planning, you have to see, some amount of time is okay, probably end of July. Some amount of time is okay, but you should take all the decisions, you should stick to it, and you should move to implementation. You should freeze planning and move to implementation. If your planning is not, for example, if you don't know what to study tomorrow, I'll give a practical example. You do not have a timetable which you can follow. Tomorrow you woke up at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, you don't know which subject to start. You don't know which topics to start. And you're thinking about all possible possibilities. Probably I should do this, I should do this. You opened a book, then you realize it's wasting time. You started a video, and then after watching 2 hours, you realize that you're not able to learn anything. Then something happened, the 1 hour got wasted. So you're not able to implement anything in a strict basis. How many of you have been there? How many of you been there? Where because of not having a proper plan, you're not able to implement. Your energy is getting wasted in planning without even coming to implementation. Your energy is getting wasted in planning without coming to implementation. So this is something which you should strictly avoid. If you keep making the same mistake, the game is gone. Okay. So planning should be done and dusted. Planning should be done and dusted. Take a week or a couple of weeks, take somebody help and make sure planning is entirely done and dusted. Okay. So this is all about planning. Now let's talk about implementation. Let me use a different color. Now we're talking about implementation. Implementation should be strict. Or for my superlative guys, I call it ruthless. Now, what is ruthless? What is strict? Once you decide something, it has to happen. Once we decide something, it has to happen. So let's say 0 excuses. 0 excuses. Ruthless implementation. So the plan has to be freezed. I'm telling you, planning importance is 1%. 1%, any plan is fine. Implementation is 99%. Planning is just 1%. Implementation is 99%. 99% the focus should be on implementation. Students do it the other way around. Multiple plans, continuous improvement in planning. No, improvement should happen. Improvement should happen in implementation, not in planning. If you keep improving the plans, it's useless. Some level of changes is fine, but implementation has to happen in implementation. Improvement should happen in implementation. Now, what we do normally, now in terms of understanding what we do. So implementation, we do 2 things. Number 1, we implement everything in 5 steps. So the schedule, once we freeze the schedule, so we plan and give a schedule to the students, which is happening through a color coding sheet. So once the plan is ready, okay, plan is done and dusted, it moves to implementation. In implementation, there are 2 things. The implementation is done as steps. So this is the most important part. You cannot implement everything at once. Steps, phase-wise, step-wise implementation. And most importantly, it's a cohort or group-based implementation. Cohort or group-based. What has been working for us? This, like, why are you able to help someone? This, because individually implementation is hard. Like, let's say if you are the only person in the gym. For example, I'm giving an example. You are the only person in the gym. Nobody else, nothing. Nobody else is there. Versus there are 7 to 8 people, like whom you have some acquaintance. You're having a music where you're doing together. You're keeping the count for each other. You're helping each other. So when you're doing a group workout or when you're doing a couple workout, whatever format it is, what is more easy? Doing it alone or with a group? Doing it alone or with a group? What is more easy? When I talk about workout, for example, when you have to talk about workout, which is more easy? Which is more easy? Now you have the answer. Now you have the answer. Why are you choosing a format which is difficult? Now you're going to the gym alone and complaining that gym is boring, gym is difficult. That is exactly what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing. You're making it difficult. You're making it difficult. It can be made easier. When something is difficult, like you look at anything at home, right? When there is a family function, a lot of people come together. Observe how somebody is simplifying things. Let's say there is somebody's wedding in the family. Would that family do it alone, or would all families and friends jump and do it together? Because when they know that they cannot do it alone, like some people, if they can do it alone, that's fine. When you know that you cannot do it alone, you have to do something else, right? Why are you not doing something else? Why are you not simplifying it? Why are you not simplifying it? You know that it's been a year, it's been a couple of years, it's been more than that, 4 to 5 attempts. You're not able to do it alone. Accept that. It's okay. It's okay. Not everything. Even when once you join office, nobody is expecting you to do anything alone. Nobody is expected to do that. What happens, that's okay. There are some people who do things alone. That's okay. But if you're not able to do it alone, you find a solution. You kind of simplify it. There are a lot of people who go to gym alone. They're like that. They do that. It's not that it cannot be done. But you are somebody whom you think that, or if your nature is such that you need some company, have company. What is wrong in that? If this is making sense, please type making sense. If this is making sense, to you, please type making sense. Not doing anything is not going to help. Not doing anything is not going to help. If something is difficult, simplify it. You can do it alone, or you can do it with the help of someone or many other people, right? That's how it is. You're not able to push the car alone. You're taking some support. What is wrong? That is exactly how things are done. That is how things are always done, right? A lot of people would have studied combined studies in schools and colleges, right? You would have had that habit. Now just rebuild that habit. What is there? Okay, so this is about the implementation part. Next, improvement. Okay, so planning is required for implementation. Now, even after implementation, let's say our capacity is 180. Let's say you implemented everything. Last time you scored 140 because of the planning gap. This is fixed, but you still score 180. Now from 180 to 220, you need improvement. See, just because you implement certain things, that is not automatically going to help you. If your capacity is not there, your capacity has to improve further. Right? So if you have to improve further, there are two things which you have to do. For improvement. So we do two things. One is tracking. The other one is called techniques, or called techniques. So trackers are like blood reports. Techniques are like medicines. So what cannot be tracked cannot be improved. What cannot be tracked cannot be improved. What cannot be measured cannot be improved. Let's say you're falling sick frequently. Now, if nobody is able to measure what is happening with your blood count or CBC, it cannot be improved. Nobody knows if your vitamin level is not tracked, they cannot be improved, right? What cannot be tracked cannot be improved. So that is the reason why there are two things which you use: trackers. You have to track your preparation on a daily basis. Your preparation has to be tracked on a daily basis. Only when you track, you understand what is going good, what is going wrong. Then you can add techniques to improve it. Okay. So tracking and techniques, trackers and techniques. If you understood the importance of trackers and techniques for improvement, please type that. Trackers and techniques. See, all of you here, it is a fantastic opportunity. It's a fantastic opportunity to internalize this. You should not keep searching for useless motivational videos every single day. That is the reason why we are going so deep. That is the reason why we are sharing this openly. We want everyone to make the best benefit out of this. Whether you're in the Zoom or whether you're in the live stream, wherever you are, we want everyone to make the best use of this, and especially if you have got a Zoom invite. make the most out of it by interacting, by two-way interaction. That is exactly how you will be able to internalize this. If you're sitting like a dead zombie, nothing is going to change. That inertia is not going to break until the exam, and it takes forever for you to do it yourself. So please don't take things for granted. Don't take things for granted. I know that a lot of people do not even care about people who are failing. Please understand that. Please understand, when you want, that is not going to come. When the help comes, use it. Okay, please be participative. Please be interactive. If this is not getting connected to you, if you're not able to understand, if you think you have some other thought, please leave. That's okay. If you are here, be here. If you're not there, don't be here. That's okay. You're not doing me a favor by listening to me. If you want to make the most out of this, I want everyone to completely interact and participate, right? So if you understood planning, implementation, improvement. If you understood planning, implementation, improvement, please type PII. PII. So this is like the pi, which is very fundamental to mathematics. So please type PII. If this is understood. Perfect. Yes. Next, in terms of planning, I'm just sharing you some examples here. So a lot of people get these questions. Like when I said decision making, I told you, right? Decision making, problem solving, skill building. Now, what are the decisions? Should I continue in ZF? Failed so many times. Can I study along with the job? Should I directly write an attempt technical syllabus? Now, when you have this, get them resolved. These are like, for this, you can find answers in 10 to 15 minutes if you talk to the right person. Otherwise, it will take forever. So decision making, close these decisions. Don't have open loops. Close the decisions. Close the decisions. Okay. So this is about you. These decisions are about you. And decision making is about your subject. Singular, both. Should I take coaching again? Should I consider mentorship? All of this are linked to your subject. These are about you. These are got nothing to do with the subject, right? So these are some level of decisions which you have to take. Problem solving. Similarly, for problem solving, I no longer feel like studying. I do not have confidence. I have lost interest. I keep overthinking. So these are problems. You cannot live with them. You cannot live with them. You definitely have to get them resolved. You definitely have to solve them, right? So when these are problems linked to you. Now, what are the problems linked to your preparation? Subjective, psychological. Subjective, psychological. These are the two sets. Now, I don't know how to prepare an effective study schedule. You don't know this. I plan, but I cannot implement. I cannot understand the concepts clearly. I'm not able to remember what I studied. Now, how many of you are able to relate to these problems or decisions here? If you are able to relate to this, I just shared some examples. If you're able to relate to these issues where you no longer feel like studying, not have anything, 1 or 2 or 3 or more problems or decisions, please type relatable. Please type relatable. These are relatable. Probably I'll spend more time in the session to explain some of this. If these are relatable, please type relatable. Now let's talk about skills. I need to improve my concentration. My routine should become a lot more consistent. I need clarity of thoughts. I should be able to complete my syllabus faster. I remember better and retain longer, precise and relevant presentations. So all of the skills which you have to build, right? So these include skill building. So these are the things which I'm talking about. Now, when you're planning, you make a matrix of this. What are the decisions which you have to take? What are the problems which you have to solve? What are the skills which you have to build? That's it. This is what you have to listen to. And somebody coming up with a random thing is not no longer useful for you. This is what you decided. This is what you wanted as preparation. That's it. You don't have to develop FOMO. You don't have to learn everything. Like all the techniques are not required. There's 3 to 4 techniques which are helpful for you, which are required for you, are required. That's it, right? So this is exactly how we can create a matrix. This is how you can clear a matrix. Okay. So this is also linked to your planning, implementation, improvement. So I just shared an example so that you can visualize it. Next, in terms of implementation, again, this is one more example. Let's say you have to fix your mindset. Now I'm sharing some examples which I picked up from the previous testimonials where students said these are the ones which has worked. But mindset and routine, box within technique. Let's say if you're having stress, panic, if your mind is restless, if your mind is completely, you get a lot of mood swings. For all those set of people, who are going through all of these issues, so box within technique is magical. Now, if you're not having concentration, focus blocks, and if you're not having consistency, full study session, so these are solutions for various problems in your preparation mode. Next, syllabus completion. You're not able, you're taking too much time to study. You're not able to complete within targets, and you're not able to understand how much time to devote. So 5-day bootcamp is magical. And then you have 8 papers to prepare. You have 8 papers to prepare. You cannot know, you don't know how much time to allocate. So this comes into the picture. For certain subjects, you can use 1 week base camp. For certain subjects, you can use 10-day strategy, depending on the strength and weakness of the subject. Revision. So weekly cumulative revision becomes very important. And 50-hour challenge, 20-hour challenge. 20-hour challenge is what we do between the 1.5 days. 50-hour challenge is what we do in the October. I'm just sharing you some solutions. Like you have some problems, all this needs to be solved. Exam presentation. You're not able to know how to present. Now, first 1 hour, score 24 plus. Second 1 hour, pass in 2 hours. This is the game, pass in 2 hours. So for each and everything, there are solutions. For each and everything, there are solutions which you can adopt and implement, right? So I just shared you the template of planning, improvement, and implementation. I've also showed you a practical matrix in terms of what are the decisions and what are the problems and what are the skills which you have to build. And apart from that, we looked at some internal techniques which will help you to solve various problems. Okay. So I hope this part is clear for you. If this part is clear until now, the three phases: planning, implementation, improvement. So first fix the planning part. Next, start implementing it. You'll reach a particular point. So improvement mostly happens in October. If this is clear, please type clear and move to the next part. If this is clear, please type clear. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Let's proceed forward. Now, detailed schedule to clear both groups. Let's say detailed schedule to clear both groups. Now, again, the schedule has to be customized. I'm once again saying the schedule which we're talking about, the schedule has to be customized to your requirement. Definitely there. But I'm giving you a blueprint where you can visualize what has to happen. Okay. So this is because I cannot give it for a particular individual. I'm just giving a blueprint so that you'll be able to understand the breakup of days. So let's look at this. So if you have 100 days, for example, if you have 100 days, what has to be done? If you have 100 days, what has to be done? Now, on day 101, like 101 day, you have to write the exam. So we decided that the last 30 days, if you remember, what should we do in the last 30 days? We already discussed this. What should we do in the last 30 days? What should we do in the last 30 days? Can someone tell me? We already decided. I showed you in the front of the first slide. What is it should be done in the last 30 days? 100% pure revision. Thanks, Arya. You're right. Yes. We're talking about 100% pure revision. 100% pure revision. Yes, absolutely right. So this is what we're talking about. So this we are saving for revision, reverse engineering. This is there for revision. Done. Now, how do we revise? We have a 50-hour challenge. We have built something called 50-hour challenge. Every subject should be done in 50 hours / 4 days. That's it. Because October, we strongly recommend even working professionals to take a break. That will significantly boost your chances. Right now, you don't have to take a decision because right now, most of the working professionals are not clear whether they'll clear or not. But as you proceed forward, but as you keep going, once you realize that, okay, I already crossed 140, 150, if I take 1 more month, I'll clear, then they'll take that aggressive decision. So right now, they're taking differently, but 1 week or 1 month before the exam, they're taking differently. So overall, 8 hours or 8 papers into 4 days each is what I have to do. So you'll get 50-hour revision cycle for each subject. Some, I would say technically, when I say 30 days, 8 into 4 is 32. So 1 day anyways extra I'll get in the month, and 1 more day can be adjusted from the elective. Some of you might have exemption or otherwise. So 3 days elective can be used, but overall this is the plan for getting or revising everything in the last 30 days. Next, we have something called primary group and secondary group. Okay, we have a concept for all the students who are writing both the groups. Internally we kind of use a concept called primary group and secondary group. Now, what is primary group? what is primary group? Let's say ICA asks you to choose only one group. You have decided to write both groups. ICA says this attempt only write one group. Now, which group would you choose? If ICA asks you to write only one group, which group? What is the logical basis? What would be the logical basis of choosing that group? If ICA asks you to write only one. What would be the last? No, first or second, that's okay. But what would be your logical basis? Why would you choose group one or why would you choose group two? Why? What would be the decision making factor for you to choose that? Fair enough, right? So you'll choose, yes, you'll choose a group which has the most likelihood of clearing. You'll pick up a group which you are most likely to clear, right? So that is exactly how we are capturing here. Not all 8 papers can be done in a similar way. So first we'll understand what is your primary group. Primary group depends on your interest, depends on your previous score, depends on your ability to score an exam in 1 or 2 papers. A lot of them are responsible for primary group. So in the first 10 days, you'll complete one paper in the primary group in 10 days, and you'll also work on the mindset and routine. Okay. The first 10 days, you'll complete one paper in the primary group. Along with that, you'll also work on the mindset and routine. So this is called king subject. Now we'll help you to pick up the best scoring subject, like which is your most scoring group, and out of which is the most scoring subject. So once you decide upon that, you'll be able to complete it in the first 10 days. Next 30 days, you're going to spend 10 days for each paper in primary group. 10 days for each paper in primary group, where you should be in a position to complete your group by August 31st maximum. Even earlier, if you're starting early, it can be done by August 15th itself. But worst case scenario, you should be able to complete. Like if I say conduct an exam on September 1st, you should be able to clear all the 4 papers. That is what I meant by completion, right? So you have to complete your entire primary group before August 31st, or at least 60 days before the exam. That is when you spend 1 more month for secondary group. Why we are spending less time? Because we cannot spend equal time for both the groups, and we are transferring the risk to only one group. You are not going to get 180 and 180. I'm telling you, the whole objective is you should never get 180 and 180. Even if it's 360, it makes sense to get 210 plus 150. 180 plus 180 is useless. 180 plus 180 is useless. 210 plus 150 makes more sense, right? So that is the objective. If you have the ability to cross, you'll clear. But in case you are failing, you'll fail with at least one group. You'll fail by clearing at least one group. That is exactly the intention, or that is exactly the reason behind why we create for primary and secondary. We are not distinguishing, but we're just giving a priority for one of the groups so that you'll clear at least one group. You'll target both groups, you'll write both groups. Even Bhavika has cleared both groups. But the whole point is you should know that we'll definitely clear at least one group. If this is making sense, please type making sense. If this is making sense, please type making sense. Perfect. And all individual questions, if I have any, I'll solve it then. Okay. Now let's look at what exactly should be the schedule to clear a single group. Right. So when you have single group, once again, this is not going to change. As I told you, the advantage of doing single group are in the both groups, you're doing 50-hour challenge once. Here, you're doing 50-hour challenge twice. You're doing 2 cycles of revision in the last month, 2 cycles of complete revision, apart from the 5-time revision which we do. So this will seal your deal. No matter what happens, you'll be able to crack. No matter what happens, you'll be able to clear. So this is the level of detailing at which the revision has to happen. Okay, 30 days is per revision. Now starting again, you'll start with the king subject, foundation for the entire preparation, complete one paper entirely. Then you'll complete the remaining 3 papers. Like here also you're completing the syllabus by August 31st. Here also you're completing the syllabus by August 31st. But what is the difference here? Can somebody tell me what is the difference here? Here also if you're completing the syllabus by August 31st, what is the difference between single group strategy and both group strategy? It's clear. If you are paying attention, it's very easy to find out. Now, when I'm saying single group students also has to complete their syllabus for August 31st, what is the difference? What is the difference between single group and both group strategies? I want you to observe and text it. Okay, what else? What else? You're almost right. You're almost close. I'm not talking about one more revision. I'm talking about one more cycle of preparation. I'm talking about one more cycle of preparation. Revision we discussed. Revision is anywhere there. Revision is here. Okay. So we're talking about 2 cycles twice. This is there. But I'm talking about second cycle of preparation. Second cycle of preparation. Because 10 days are reasonably enough to complete one paper where you can score 45 plus. So after the 10 days, I'm talking about second cycle of preparation. So if you do this, you'll move to a position where it is impossible to fail. 2 cycles of cumulative revision and 2 cycles of preparation. This is what makes the difference. Now, this is the reason why, if you see any of the testimonials, now how can somebody clear all of a sudden? How can somebody clear all of a sudden? Now, there has to be something which is a game changer. This is a game changer. If you think this is a game changer, please type game changer. If you think this is a game changer, please type game changer. Got it? Now, if this is clear, please type clear. If this is clear, please type clear. See, we'll go into further detail. Like what happens is right now we have limited time. That's the reason why I have to move it. Like which particular subject, what has to be studied in a particular day, all the targets will be given. As we proceed forward, all the targets will be given by going further steps. Now, if this can give you so much clarity, what is next step? Okay, what is your king subject? How to identify your king subject? Once you identify king subject, how can you complete the entire syllabus in 10 days? What has to be done? So that is exactly which will come into the next logical process. But for now, this is what we have. Okay. So we have completed the first phase. We have just completed the first phase in somewhere around 60 minutes. We started around 7:10, 8:10. So we took the 10 minutes extra. So I'll quickly revise what we have just discussed. Okay. I quickly revise what we have just discussed. 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes we'll revise. These are the 5 things which we revised. You are here because of this particular. You are here because of this particular masterclass invitation, and this is a limited set of people invitation. We invited a certain section of students in our ecosystem. Tomorrow, you are not getting invited. This is the only invite which you get. So you pay attention, you pay. Otherwise, it's gone. Now, in terms of this, in terms of the masterclass, the whole objective is how can you complete 100 days in 100 minutes. Next. So we looked into what exactly is the detailed agenda. So first is the bird's eye view of the 100-day strategy, preparation kit, 3 phases of preparation, detailed schedule to clear both groups and clear single group. Next, we have given you the bonus. If you send a mail, those who missed it, you can do it. You can just send a mail with this VIP access pass to the mentorship by him at the gmail.com mail ID. You will get an access pass on July 22nd, where we are celebrating 3rd anniversary, which is going to be a fantastic experience for you. And we all looked at the context. So our vision is to transform 20,000 plus years, which will help you to build a 3-phase career growth, clear CA in 1 attempt, start earning 1 lakh per month, and create a path to network of 10 crore. And these are the 5 things which we just looked at. And initially we'll get the 10 days, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, and exam days, right? You remember this part. And this syllabus completion, whether it is one group or 4 group, we just looked at. In 10 days, we're completing one subject, and also we are resetting the mind. Next, we're talking about both groups. August is meant to be crossing 40 plus, September 40 plus and remaining 4 papers, October 50 plus and all 8 papers, November 420. Would it actually work? Yes, this is exactly how you will be able to find your mark sheet if you utilize the same blueprint. Next, we looked at a single group. So start date is 30 plus in 4 papers and 45 in 4 papers, 55 in 4 papers. So 30, 45, 55. In November, you have to reach here. Next, just if you follow the same strategy, this is the outcome, this is the result. And 100-day preparation kit, this is very important, very deep, right? So unless your internal resources are working properly, your learning resources become useless. So to match the gaps in internal resources, you need to build an external environment. You need to have a study station which will help you to study, like a workstation, and study buddy who can help you to progress with the preparation, mentor who can help you with problem solving, decision making, and skill building. 3 phases of preparation with milestones. We look into the planning part, implementation part, improvement part. Planning, we look into the strategy, schedule, and what are the decisions. We'll also look into the decision matrix. Implementation, we'll look into the 5 steps of implementation. We'll discuss further also. So we'll implement the things in 5 steps. And most importantly, the implementation is happening through a cohort where it is easy for you to do things together. Improvement through tracking and techniques. Trackers and techniques is improvement. So these are the matrix which we looked at. So various decisions, various problems, various skill building. All of this should come in the planning stage. You have to sort it before you get into the implementation part. And these are some of the aspects which will come into implementation improvement. So by using this, you will be able to implement what has to happen and also improve from what you have implemented. And look into the detailed schedule to clear both groups. So this is the cycle where you're completing the primary group, then moving on to secondary group. In October, you're getting 1 cycle of revision. So for a single group, we looked into the 2 cycles of syllabus completion and 2 cycles of revision. This is where we have landed. Now we got into the next phase where we have reached the secrets, where we'll explain along with case studies, secret number 1, secret number 2, secret number 3. Next, massive action plan for full-time students. Here is where I'll show you the timetable, and here is where I'll show you the timetable for both of you. Okay. So if you are ready for the second phase, please type ready. If you're ready for the second phase, please type ready. Perfect, guys. So now let's look at the next 3 secrets and that schedule. When I say strategy is all about what you do on an overview level. Now schedule, when I talk about schedule, we'll look into the daily schedule. Like on a given day, what are the various things which you have to do on an hourly basis? Okay. Yes. Perfect. So secret number 1. Now when I'm sharing the secret, we're explaining the secrets using practical case studies. Now try to correlate planning, implementation, improvement. Try to correlate various phases. Only then you will be able to understand. Because see, it's not about getting excited that somebody has cleared. That is not the point. It is all about understanding why that person has cleared. What are the mistakes he was able to overcome from the previous time. So only then you will be able to get a hang of things. Okay. So let's move to the secret number 1. So you will never fail in the examination, but in the preparation, we discussed it n number of times. But today, after spending the 15 minutes, we'll understand it at a deeper level, which you would not have never understood. Okay. So pay attention and try to grasp the maximum out of this particular secret. Now, Suresh Kavrala, one of our favorite students of all time, and he promised us to come back and spend some time with you also. So Suresh is saying you'll never fail in the exam, but in the preparation. Now, if you understood what is happening, planning, implementation, improvement, is it happening in the exam or is it happening in the preparation? Now, the PIA framework, the schedule, or the strategy, where are we working upon? Look at it. Are we focusing on the preparation or in the examination? So far, are we focusing on the preparation or in the examination? If you understood, if you noticed, are we focusing on the examination or in the preparation? right? This is what it's talking about. So you'll only fail in the preparation, not in the exam, because exam is a reflection of your preparation. Now try to keep connecting this. You might have heard this before because Suresh is very popular. We kind of share a story every now and then, but you need to understand the deep perspective. The story, the case study did not change. You have changed. So when you have changed, you'll understand the core essence. Okay, so pay attention. It all started in the month of December 2020 while I was surfing through social sites. I came across an advertisement regarding a workshop called Super Students studying the line. I immediately registered for the workshop and attended the workshop from 21st December to 25th of December. I then came to know about mentorship, but did not register for the program, thinking that I got enough time for May 2021. And also, P was not up to my standard. After 6 months, I realized that I'm going to fail May 2021 exams as I could complete only one revision, that too on a selective basis. As I gave the exams in the month of July, and I failed. So once again, he is implying what he meant. He has realized that he is failing the exams because only one revision has happened. So before even getting into the examination, before the preparation is completed, he already realized that he is going to fail. Right? So if you think clearly, if you think honestly, most of you would have realized it in the previous attempt or any of the attempts. How many of you agree to this? How many of you agree that you'll get a sense in the preparation itself that you are going to fail? You'll get a sense in the preparation itself that you are going to fail. How many of you agree to this? How many of you agree to this? Right? So this is what you have to notice. This is what you have to track. You should never fail in the preparation. That's what is the whole concept. I gave the examination in the month of July and failed. As I said, life gives us a second chance. It was in the month of September when I came back to know about the mentorship and I applied and selected as a program. But now the fee for the program is relatively higher than the earlier program. I somehow managed the funds and my journey started. So he earlier thought of trying on his own, although I liked the program, wanted to save money, but it ended up wasting time and wasting money once again. So this time all I have is 80 days for my exam, and I have started preparing under the guidance of Imbukan sir, and result is passed. Now, what does this 80 days indicate? When you're looking at 80 days, when you have cleared both the groups in 80 days, what is the lesson for you? If somebody can clear both the groups in 80 days, what is an indicator? What is it? What is the lesson from this? Both groups in 80 days, what does it indicate? What does this indicate? Absolutely. Wonderful. Yes. So instead of worrying about are 100 days enough? He's saying 80 days are enough. That's it. The answer is there. Utilization is important than availability. And second thing, if you're writing one group, you have infinite time, right? Somebody says, I cleared multiple times, I failed, but I was able to clear both groups in 80 days. Now, when you know that you have to clear only one group, there is nothing that can stop you. There is nothing that can stop you, right? This is the lesson which you have to learn. So time is absolutely enough. Time is absolutely enough. Yes, thank you for that. Yes, 5 years process for everyone. I'm thankful to Imbukan sir for letting me know mistakes and teaching me the techniques of learning and providing the right guidance for the program and even during the exams to make me child. So this is a part of the matrix. Like, what does it indicate? It's not about me. See, it is not about me. Now, can somebody correlate? Can somebody correlate this to a lesson which we have learned? We look into the 5 components, right? So this component is about the time. Let's say 100 days action plan. We understood it. Time is sufficient. Now, what does it indicate? Can you correlate this paragraph to something which you have learned? How can you correlate this paragraph, this particular paragraph, which is talking about for letting me know my mistakes and teaching me techniques of learning and providing the right guidance for the program? So we looked into this conceptually. This is a case study. Now we looked into this conceptually earlier. Can somebody correlate this? That will help me understand how I interview. Absolutely fantastic, Rajan. Yes. When your internal resources are weak, focus on the external environment. So his internal resources was not able to manage time, energy, attention. He used an external environment. It could be a study, but it could be a mentor, it could be a study station. Anything is fine. but this is exactly what I'm talking about. So when you mention that I have failed, this is an indicator that his internal resources are weak. This is an indicator that when your internal resources are weak, you can overcome internal resources with an external environment. Now, this is a life-changing advice for you. This is a life-changing advice for you. When something is not working within, don't get into a pseudo sympathy mode. Don't get into self-sympathy mode. Don't think that you cannot do it. Don't get into this artificial bullshit. There is somebody who can solve it. Now, a smart person is all about solving it himself or finding somebody who can solve it. That is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Even if the internal resources are weak, with the help of an external environment, we can still clear. This is the most important lesson, and we have learned about the time part. Okay, so this is what we have learned about today. Next, the preparation thing is so important that I've given you two case studies instead of one here. So she's mentioning Super is a successful combo of smart work and hard work. A student of Super is back. I cleared my CA and then what did I do? Before joining Himlaster, I thought I was failing in the exams. But after joining, I realized that I was failing in the exam preparation itself. Very, very, very powerful learning. So when you understand that you are failing in the exam preparation, you have to fix the preparation. You cannot directly fix the examination. You have to fix the preparation. So this is exactly all about it. Now, most of the CA students lack an effective approach in self-learning and self-evaluation. With the help of techniques such as color coding, 5-time revision, weekend exam, and self-evaluation indexation, I was able to learn and revise the subjects effortlessly. Now, what does this paragraph correlate to? Now, I expect others to answer as well, not just Rajan. What does this paragraph correlate to? We looked at this also conceptually. What does this paragraph correlate to? I want responses from all of you. What does this paragraph correlate to? What is the lesson? You looked at it, right? What does this paragraph correlate to? Absolutely. Fantastic. Fantastic. We looked at it, right? Improvement, planning, implementation, improvement. She's talking about improvement. So when improvement happens, all the problems become effortless. This is what it is. However, must not be under the impression that success is guaranteed by joining the mentorship unless we're ready to dedicate ourselves to the process. Now, this is clear. So this is clear. The implementation, but unless you're implementing things, unless you're following things, unless you're committing yourself, this is not going to work. That's a very good point. So that right kind of students will look at it. Himla School provides an atmosphere and even hard work becomes an effortless process due to the impact of group study, group tracker, and healthy competition. Fantastic. Now, what does it indicate? Group study, group tracker, and healthy competition. Where did we discuss this point? Group study, group tracker, and healthy competition. Where did we discuss this? Your mind should be sharp, guys. Very sharp. It should be sharp. When I say when a question is asked, you should be able to correlate to it immediately. We just discussed it 20 minutes ago. Absolutely, absolutely. Study buddy, external resources. Yes. We look into it, right? Internal resources, learning sources, external environment. Yes. Impact of group study, group tracker, healthy competition. Study buddy. Yes. In a way, yes. You'll have more, but at least this is what you have to understand. And one-to-one guidance and motivation helped me rectify my weakness in my study approach. In Super 36 is a successful combo of smart work, hard work, which helps to achieve our dream of becoming a CA. I highly recommend each and every one of you to join him last school. It will increase the probability of you becoming a chartered accountant next entity. Okay. Apart from what we discussed, there is one more thing both of them has mentioned subtly. There's one more thing which both of them has mentioned subtly. What is that? Both of them has mentioned one more thing. What is it? It's a the sentence is hidden. It's not clear. It's not clear. There is one more thing which both of them have mentioned. If you're paying attention, you'll be able to find it. What is it? Very important thing. I did not discuss this very outrightly, but we had a floating difference. I did not discuss this directly, but you should be able, if you're smart enough, you should be able to identify. It's a very, very important thing. It's a very, very important thing. In both of this, we're talking about something which is very, very important. Any guesses? Any guesses? Absolutely fantastic, Rajan. You are on fire. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Did not mention this. Here he mentioned, I'm thankful to Imran sir for letting me know my mistakes. Letting me know my mistakes. See, techniques of learning we all discussed. Techniques in improvement, tracking and techniques are there. That is, we already found out. Letting me know my mistakes. Help me in rectifying the weakness, mistakes, weakness. Identification of the problem is important in solving the problem. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So you have to be sharp. I'm happy with whatever you identified. Good. So unless you identify, so both of them, the reason they were able to work, the reason they were able to fix the problem is we help them identify it. Otherwise, it's very hard. Unless the problem is identified, we cannot find the solution. Finding the problem is important than figuring out the solution. Once you find the problem, solution will happen. There are a lot of people who sell solutions, but there are very few people who can find the problem. Okay. So if you agree to this, please type problem is important solution. Problem is important solution. Problem is important solution. Not staying with the problem, finding the problem. Once you find the problem, you have to move on to the solution. Otherwise, it becomes a new problem. If you understand the importance of it, if you understand the depth of it, please type problem is important solution. Perfect, perfect, good. Okay. Now let's move to case study number 2. Let's move to case study number 2. Okay. Obviously, identifying the problem is difficult than finding the solution. Identifying the problem is difficult than finding solution. So let's find the case study directly on this, right? That is indirectly implied. Here it's a direct implication. I have discovered my X. I have recently cleared CA final. With all my experience, I can make the statement. CA exam is equal to subjects plus Y factor plus X factor plus X factor. We all know what they are and how they are, the concepts, the important topics, marks distribution in the subject. Everyone has their own Y factor in which they're inherently good at. Some must be good at making repeated number of revisions, and some must be good at being consistently focused. This needs no external support or distance. And it's talking about X factor. X factor steps in here. We don't know what we lack. Are we bad at precisely? Even if we know, we don't know how to overcome it. Even if we know how to overcome, we still ignore or we consciously choose the comfort zone not to improve. Mostly this alone, X factor decides our fate in the end game, main exam. So how has Himla School helped me out of the above? I got more clarity on the trend and marks distribution of the subjects and the best way to get good hold of them. I was good at planning, but not implementation, as I made timetable but not followed them. So I learned to master implementation as good as planning. And X factor discovery. Sir, having seen, monitored, interacted, and helped many people, especially in the specific CA exam domain, has helped me clearly identify my X factor and help me get a grip on it. Now he's mentioning the reason. Now it's not easy for anyone to find problems. It's very hard. Like even my wife is a doctor. She says 90% of the doctor's job is to diagnose. If you remember, if you understand this, when you go to a hospital, first they'll ask you to meet the doctor. He'll ask you a lot of questions. He'll ask you to do the blood test. So the cost of blood test is 10,000. The tablet is 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Right? The blood test is costly. Diagnosis is costly than solution. Making sense? Diagnosis is costlier than solution. Doctor, once the diagnosis on the blood, you have to wait for some days for the blood test to come. Once the blood test is here, once the doctor identifies the problem, how much time will give him to give you the solution? He'll literally give it in 2-3 minutes. Agreed or not? Able to correlate? The moment you find it, they'll be able to fix it. Agreed or not? Understanding? Diagnosis is important in solving. Diagnosis is difficult than solving. Now, this is what I'm saying. Because of my experience with multiple students across all the years, it was easy for me to diagnose this or clearly identifying the X factor. Right? If you now again, before I move forward, I want you to know the importance of diagnosis. Diagnosis is important in solving. Diagnosis is important in solving. Finding a problem is diagnosis, but you need to know this word called diagnosis because you have to constantly diagnose what is working, what is not working. One fine day you are in a bad mood. You have to diagnose why you are in a bad mood and all of that. Okay, I want all to type. DIA is important than problem solving. I've simplified the solution for you. Just mention that statement so that I understand that you would have understood it. DIA is important in problem solving. Perfect. Thanks for writing the full sentence. Appreciate that. Share that. Yes. Perfect, guys. Let's proceed to the next secret. Remembering is not normal, forgetting is. Remembering is not normal, forgetting is. Now, a lot of people say, a lot of students say, I don't remember things. I have a bad memory. No, memory is bad. You just have a memory. Memory is normally bad. So remembering is not normal. To forget is normal. Forgetting is normal. Forgetting is normal. To remember is not normal. You have to do it consciously. You have to remember things consciously. If you don't do anything, you'll forget. Even today, we do not. I'll make you to remember this. In shortly, I'll make you to remember this. If you do not do anything, you'll forget. If you do not do anything, you'll forget. How many of you find this is a Balban moment? Where you have an understanding about memory in a very different context. If you think it is a Balban moment, please type Balban. If you think it is a Balban moment, please type Balban. Where you understood that forgetting is normal. So these are things which will significantly alter the way you prepare. These are things which will significantly alter the way you approach things. You no longer worry about it. You no longer are scared about things, right? Because you know that okay, this is normal to forget. It is quite normal for someone to forget. That is the best part. Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Now let's look at why Rajdeep had said this, or what made Rajdeep focus on this. Well, the experience of Subbu 36 has been magical. I say so because it solves every problem which we usually face, right? Example, remembering a particular stuff. Subbu 36 helped me in the following way. 5-time revision technique. 5-time revision technique, which is my personal favorite, as it helps in subjects like audit, law, and SCMP. 5-time revision technique, which is my favorite, as it helps in subjects like audit, law, and SCMP. Focus block slot, the ability to retain content for longer period. Claims of sir that, okay, let's come to this. Before, if you look at it, he's talking about memory. He's talking about 5-time revision. He's talking about ability to retain content for longer period. Now, the only thing which we did is help him fix the memory part, which is done through 5-time revision. The implication of this is the sentence number 4, which is ultra powerful. Claims of sir that this will be the last investment and exam of your life for CA final exam is what derived me to join this, and it proved to be true as I am CA Rajdeep now. Now, what exactly is the implication of this? The implication of this is we had a conversation. Like what made him say this? Because it's not an easy thing to say publicly. When he asked me, sir, I'm very much interested in the workshop, similar workshop, same. Because at the end of workshop, we normally give opportunity to join the program. So when he has been given the opportunity, he said, sir, I'm okay with everything. I understand everything, but I have only one constraint. I've already invested a lot in my coaching and other exam test series, and I've already given multiple attempts. Now, I don't think I can invest further. I don't think I want to invest my parent money further. At the same time, I'm not sure if I have to write one more attempt. Then I said one thing. I asked him to share his mark sheet. His marks were decent actually. So there was only one thing which I said. I don't know about what has been done till that point. I don't know because I'm not involved. I did not have any control. But from now, if you're giving me this 80, 90 days, at that point of time, it was also less than 100 days when it joined. So when we gave me that 100 days, for example, I'll ensure this becomes the last investment in the last exam. The reason is we are so confident. We're so confident because we have put in that work, like everything. Like if you look at it, when we say planning, when we say implementation, when we say improvement, the same thing happens for the entire mentorship process. We plan things in a particular way. Okay, these are the set of techniques, and this is the schedule which we'll test it this time. We'll implement it. Once this implementation is done, we'll try to learn more techniques. We'll also do further research. We'll come back and improve the program. What I'm teaching you is what we do internally. This is in fact sharing our internal hacks. This is in fact sharing our internal secrets in terms how we are able to build this amazing content, how we are able to give this valuable insights to a large section of students who are not able to clear across a period of time. And this is exactly why I'm so confident. I'm so confident. I'm so proud. In fact, this is one of the proudest things. I'll tell you, more than me clearing CA, me helping students clear is my proudest moment. I'm more happy because I'm able to do this because this is influencing families. Like look at how happy he is. Look at how happy the whole family is. Now, when I clear CA, only my family would be happy. My sister and my mom would be happy. My father would be happy. But when this happens, I can see sister, parents, fathers of multiple families, right? So that is what drives me. That is what drives me to say this. That is what has driven me. Because subsequently, a lot of people ask, like, how can you say it so openly? Because only people who fail come to us. People don't come to us in the first time. People have trust deficit. People have a lot of problems. They don't even believe in themselves. How can you say that? Now, I believe in the system. I'm like a doctor. For example, when you go to a doctor, if it's a good surgeon, if it's an experienced surgeon with 10 plus years like me, okay, this is a problem. Let me remove the tumor. If it's cancer, let's remove it. If it's an open heart surgery, let's do it. The problem is for the patient. For the doctor, it's one more thing, it's one more day, it's one more problem, because throughout his life he has been studying that, throughout his life he has been implementing it. Now, if you're trying to operate on yourself, I can't think of a bigger fool. I can't think of a bigger fool who is destroying their career because they're not understanding that this cannot be solved if you don't change the pattern. If you don't, because I'll tell you something. The implication of every failed attempt will drastically reduce the chance of clearing. It will drastically reduce the chance of clearing next attempt. How many of you agree to this? Every failed attempt, every time you fail, every time somebody fails, the probability gets reduced. Failures are stepping stones of success is in a different context, not in CA. How many of you agree to this? I'm saying first attempt is the easiest attempt. First attempt is the easiest attempt. Every time you fail, every time you have to do, preparation gets complicated, preparation gets boring, preparation gets monotonous. You'll get a lot of self-doubts. You won't trust yourself. You don't trust your faculty. You don't trust the exam system. You don't trust ICI. You will not be able to move things forward. So this is exactly why it becomes harder. It becomes really harder. Now, I don't know what similar, since we are in the same context, now, if I say the same thing to you, if I'm giving you the same, assurance that if you follow everything which we say over the next 100 days, this particular attempt, November 23, will be the last investment and the last exam of your CA final. Last investment and last exam of your CA final. How many of you are willing to commit your 100 days with us? If I'm saying this to you, like this is what Rajdeep has said in the November 22, now we're talking about November 23. Now, your case study will become a case study for the next attempt. How many of you are willing to commit the next 100 days? How many of you are willing to commit the next 100 days for this? Please type, I'm willing to commit the next 100 days. I want the entire 100 days. Now, if you're a working professional, that's okay. We'll compromise in the group. I'm not going to compromise in the time. If you're a working professional, let's focus on one group. 4 hours, 5 hours per day, that's it. Full time, let's hit both groups. Already cleared, even better. I want all of you to write it very clearly because I spent exactly 100 minutes. So I'm asking you after 100 minutes. We have spent 100 minutes today, face to face, everything openly. Now, if this is good enough for you to commit for the next 100 days, let's not waste time. Thank you for your commitment levels. Thank you for your commitment levels. Thank you for being there with complete attention. And I really like the way you're able to connect the case studies and concepts. So I think I'm talking to the right set of people. So if you're interested, if you're serious about this, if you want to understand how we can help you, I can explain you how we can help you across the next 100 days. We'll take you through the step-by-step process and the set of benefits which you will get as a part of our Super 36 program. So if you're interested, And if you want me to proceed forward, I'm seeking your permission. Please type proceed. So now that you're interested, now that you're willing to commit 100 days, I want to give additional information and additional steps in terms of what can happen. If you want me to proceed, please type proceed. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much for the permission. Thank you very much for the permission. And at this junction, I will be stopping the recording because what we do is we accept admissions only in the live sessions, only when they go through the entire process in a very clear manner. So this is for people who are sitting in the Zoom room right now, only for those who are sitting in the Zoom room. So you will be instantly onboarded. You take a decision, you will be onboarded in the next 10 minutes. This is the kind of speed, and you'll be able to complete the 10-day setup before 23rd itself. That 22nd, 23rd, you'll be able to complete the 10 days mindset and routine part. That is the best advantage of taking a decision today. So let me stop recording and let me stop streaming. So this is only